spotlight. I hope everybody's doing great tonight. Tonight we have our ever handsome co-host, my husband, Billy Paxton.
Good evening.
And we have our special guest, Joel McConnell, tonight with us. And we always want to send a shout out to Andy. How do you say your last name again? Dabala at Liberty.
Yahala Dabala. Just remember Hala.
At Liberty Sound Labs. And they're located at 1671 West Stearns Road. We could not have this podcast without you, Andy, so thank you very much. We appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we are going to cover our notes first because last week I got all caught up in our guest. Did you see the podcast last week?
Heck of a guest last week.
I did not know.
Oh, okay. But we're going to talk a little bit about him on this podcast. But I got all caught up in him, and I forgot to talk about any of our notes at the tail end of things, of how to people to reach us or any of that kind of stuff.
He was very good.
He was amazing.
Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what I'm going to talk about is some past events that we had this past week for Little Blessings. We had our second women's retreat with life coach Liz Thies, and that was a combination between civilian women and military women, bringing them together so they're on one playing field, right?
Right.
So the military women could be in the same kind of environment and work on their trusting and social skills with the, I guess you'd say, with the civilian sector. And it was awesome.
Sometimes civilians are intimidated by military.
Yes.
So I can see that
Yep.
works both ways.
Oh, it was great.
Hence why you
So
did it. I mean, I was just saying.
No, it was amazing.
Me
So
as
we
a
had
civilian
some civilians.
Spouse.
Yep. We had civilians, we had military spouses, and then we had the veterans in there. And they started their day out. They did yoga with all of the llamas out there.
Llama, Bahama
And
Mama
they
logo.
Yeah, they really
Yoga.
liked that. And then Sunday, we Walking with Warriors, Erica Beam, they hosted here at the Liberty Sound Labs. They hosted a Bob Ross painting event, and that was a lot of fun.
We should have brought our paintings to
I was
show.
gonna bring
Gosh,
it.
darn it.
No, I was gonna bring it, but I knew it was
wet.
still wet, so I didn't want to.
It's all right.
And
That
your
was
wife
amazing.
came to that, right? And she
Yes.
really enjoyed that, didn't she?
Yep.
And she has never done one of those before.
You made
right?
a guest appearance.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
What was your question again? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Squirrel. I had to throw it out there. Squirrel.
My husband and his squirrels.
Squirrel.
So,
All right.
Has she done that before?
Yeah.
No, she has not.
no, but she was amazing. She was the one that we were like most envious of the entire time we were painting. Like
Right.
she was a professional.
Yeah, right behind. Yes, she was. Did you seen her painting? Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I freaking wasn't. She ever done that before?
That's
No, not the
Okay.
body.
I didn't.
Rewind.
I didn't connect the dots, but I
But
remember
what
looking
she
at them.
would do when we were younger, she would find like paintings people would leave out by the road, and she would bring them home and then paint over them with the colors that she wanted.
Really?
Oh,
So she
really?
would make her own paintings.
That's
gotcha.
pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I
Is it
never
was
thought-
it oil type paintings
Yeah.
like that too?
Wow.
So she has got a little hidden
She
talent
was
in
very,
there.
hers was very good.
Yeah, hers was
They
amazing.
all were.
Yeah,
She's very artistic.
Yeah.
it was amazing.
Her shadowing was.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And we know that event, because it was state funded, we had to wear a mask, and we know that was, whether we're in favor of it or not, that's really not going to be the topic tonight, but
Well, no,
because it was,
I'm not.
it's
go ahead.
okay, you can say that.
I raised my hand. I'm not.
Okay, you can, but it was state funded, so we had to comply.
Right.
So in order for us to have events like that, that's what we're going to have to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were super excited yesterday. You were part of this too. Emma Henderson from Channel 11 reached out to us, and she wanted to do a story on us. She
Yeah.
called me the night before and said, "Hey, any chance I can come out to the farm and do a story on you guys? I see you guys are doing a lot of different events during COVID. How does that look? How are you making that happen? I know it's important for the veterans to keep doing stuff." I said, "Yes, come on out." So she came out, and she probably spent 3 hours, 4
Yeah.
hours with us when she was done. And
For a minute and a half. But no, I got you. She got great
Yeah,
footage. I'm only being funny there because
right.
Andy has mentioned you following Mr. Paul Peroni around. Well, you got to take hours to get footage. It's called editing,
Yeah,
and you got to be good at editing.
that's true.
And thank God there's editing.
Yes.
Yeah, because
I
they edit
sound
that
like an
stuff
idiot
out.
most of
Just
the
what-
Yeah.
No.
No, Emma did a great job of editing it.
Yeah.
I thought it was amazing.
For
So
sure.
we have posted it out on Warrior Spotlight. We've put it out on Little Blessings, Duke Farms,
Yep.
giving a
It's on
shout
Channel
out.
11,
Yep.
yeah, it's good stuff.
Channel 11, Fox 36, all of
Yeah,
those.
we've
It's
got
pretty
some
awesome.
good coverage lately. Both them channels, and there was
Channel-
Guyton.
Yeah, Lisa Guyton from
Yeah.
Channel 13 a few weeks
That's
ago.
the big three almost.
You gonna do the fundraiser?
Yes, I'm getting there. Hold on.
Squirrel.
I know.
Sure.
Andy's rushing me,
Yeah,
so just hold on a
I'm
minute.
ready.
In the wheelhouse.
He's ready.
Do you have a monster
Okay.
drink or something?
Coffee.
Coffee. Ooh.
Okay, so those were the past events that we just did, and now we are going to look at some of the future events we have coming up. We are
We're
super.
going to look into the future.
We are looking into the future. Andy's got the perfect hat for that too.
It makes
You
me.
can, like,
I'm sorry,
give us a
squirrel.
part.
Romper room. I see Billy. I see Andy. I'm seeing the
I told you
future.
you didn't have to worry.
Go, girl.
Okay, so anyway, September 19th, we are doing a veteran men's afternoon. It's called Cowboy Up.
Yeah. Toes out.
Toes out, yes, we're super excited about that. It's going to be 10 or so male veterans that are going to be together, and then me. I'll be hosting it, and we're going to be messing with the horses. And then tell everybody what you're making.
Oh, the pulled pork?
Pulled
Pulled
pork.
pork.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to
That was-
smoke a pork butt.
Pull. Excuse me, squirrel.
Yeah.
What'd you say? You're gonna smoke some pork butt.
Some
Not
pork
smoke.
butt, yeah.
Not smoke. I'm full of it tonight. I'm sorry.
Okay. He's going to
I
have
took
to,
a nap before I came.
He's going to have to go.
So, yeah.
Yes, so we're super excited
Pulled
about
pork.
that.
Pulled
So,
pork.
Yep, and we're going to have some brats too that we'll have
Brats.
with that. So we're excited about
And
that.
what game are we going to play?
Oh yeah, so Joel sent me this, which I thought was fantastic. I posted it in the event. It was, don't tell me, it's right on the arrow. Oh,
Roulette.
Aerosmith.
Arrow Roulette. Yes,
Arrow
and that
Roulette.
what movie was that from?
Grown-ups.
Grown Ups. Oh my gosh.
With
And
the bow and arrows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
Oh,
stand
yeah.
in a group and then they
We
shoot
it up. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And whoever breaks
I got
away
some
from
hard
it-
hats.
Oh,
No, that takes away the
yeah.
fun of it. Yeah.
Mm.
No.
So
We got hard heads.
yeah.
Are you going to use the bow and arrows you got? Or are
No,
you joking?
we're just.
Oh, yeah, we were just
Because
joking.
I got some old yard darts. Or the lawn darts. Remember the ones they won't let you use now? The
Okay.
metal ones?
Moving on.
Yeah, we do not play roulette at the
No, we are not playing that. It was just a funny.
Oh.
Okay. Anyways, then on
Okay,
the
moving on.
21st, we are doing a Warrior Community Dinner, so we're super excited about that. That is going to be most everything that we do is out at Duke Farms. That's where we're housed out of. But that is going to be from 6 to 8 on the 21st, and the main dish is going to be chili,
Chili.
and it is for veterans and their
Are we going to have any
families.
pulled pork? You never know.
They have to, the veterans and their families bring a side dish.
You coming, Andy?
I think,
Yeah.
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 I was gonna
Yeah.
say
Little
something
editing.
else.
You can say it. It's okay. Sure, yeah.
That's where you're going to learn to do some editing.
That's a new word for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No. Sorry.
Okay.
Wow.
Anyways, yeah.
Wow.
We are just.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's kind
You
of
were worried
crazy.
about it being something.
Yeah.
Look what's happened. Whoa.
Jeez.
Okay, back at it.
Okay, the 23rd, I'm at a speaking engagement. If you want us to come out and talk about what our program looks like and share with your organization, all of this information is already posted on the Warrior website. I posted it before I came today, so I would remember to do it. All my numbers. Duke Farm Fall Fest, I want to give a shout out to that. That's going to be October 24th. That is going to be a lot of fun. Follow them on their Facebook page. November 8th. Last year, you were at this too, our Friendsgiving, our Veterans Friendsgiving.
See, I got confused there with the other dinner and this dinner because I was like, well, what friends? I get it now.
So we
It's
were,
a long way
we
to
were,
way out.
yeah. Well, we were originally doing monthly dinners, right?
Oh,
but
right.
the COVID kind of interrupted that a minute.
Right.
So we're having a monthly dinner in September, next Monday.
Right.
And then our Friendsgiving dinner.
Yes.
This will be our second one.
Uh-huh.
And so we get sponsors that sponsor the ham and the turkeys, and then everybody brings a dish to
He
that.
was at last year's, wasn't he? Yes.
He
sir,
was,
yeah.
yeah.
Are you going to go to the Friendsgiving, Andy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So that
It's
is for
good,
veterans
man.
and their families. So be watching for all that stuff. Lots and lots of stuff going on.
I guess, man. Wow.
I know, but here's the big one. So we're super excited about this. We already have the
Okay.
date for next year's fundraiser.
We're winding up. You're all
I know,
wound
but
up.
I'm
Slow
super
down.
excited, so I
can
wanted to
tell.
tell 'em.
Is this the one I'm supposed to put on the screen?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
I'll let you know. Thank you.
Okay.
Boy, we're on a lean mixture tonight.
So it's August 28th,
Yeah.
2021, our second annual Warrior fundraiser. So we already have our Warrior guest for that. He is local, Louis Bellamini. Him and his service dog Star will be our special guest there.
Yep.
We have so much more already added to the event.
Yep.
It's going to be at the same venue, which is Shade Rock Farms. Aaron Crott is going to play again. Hopefully we can get Shane LeMay back to play. He was amazing.
Yep.
We
I'm
have
sure we
Duke
can.
Farms that's going to be bringing a horse and carriage this time.
Oh,
Super
wow.
excited.
Right. Yeah.
We're going to be bringing Blessing for a photo shoot.
Right.
We're going to try to get the Budweiser beer trailer there. So when we have Little Blessing, we can do all those photo shoots all at once. And then we'll have a petting farm from Duke Farms too. So
And
lots.
one more. Slappy dogs.
Oh, Snappy Dogs.
Snappy dogs. Sorry. Slappy dogs.
Snappy Dogs.
Yeah.
Yes, Snappy
Yeah.
Dogs will be back.
Right.
Just follow us on that event
Yeah.
link because
A lot
we're
of
going to
things
have
are gonna be
vendors.
happening
We're going to
by
have
then.
all sorts
Yes.
of stuff
Yeah.
already growing from what it was last year.
Absolutely.
We're super excited.
Well, we have a whole year to put it together, and we're not because of COVID. And we know that this year or 21, no matter what the landscape looks like, we're full steam ahead for
Yes,
the fundraiser.
we are full steam
Yes.
ahead for sure.
Nothing gonna stop us.
Yep. And we're almost close. I'll let you know. We're almost there, Andy. So we want to talk about every Thursday night we do our Warrior Family Support. That is for the veterans' families. That could be adult siblings, mothers.
No. Can they just show up? Do they need to have reservations? Just
Gonna get to
I
that.
understand.
Thank
I
you
just-
for asking. So it's any Thursday night. It's not a. I'm gonna see that back.
What's that?
Whatever face you just made.
I didn't make any. I fixed. I freaking
I
messed up
wasn't
my
looking
beard.
either.
Squirrel. They're
Anyways,
calling bear.
so you can come on a weekly basis. So it's not like it goes from one week to the next. It's you can leave with learning something each week that you're
Right,
there.
because I only came the once and I enjoyed it, but I get that's what I was getting at is that so that the viewers or anybody that wants to tell anybody they can just come at that time
Yep.
unannounced.
Yep.
Bring a spouse. Do they have to be military? Do they have to be
They
related
have to
to the
be-
program?
They do not have to be in the program. They could just be a veteran spouse or child or mother.
I gotcha.
So we've had all of those.
Grandchildren, anybody.
Yep.
I got
Adults though.
Adults.
No kids.
No kids.
No kids.
Under 16,
No kids.
18.
Yeah,
Well, look at us.
I know.
We're 50 and 58, and we're
Well,
still
we're
kids.
working on kids programs, honey. We're working on
Okay,
it.
I know. I got you.
We're-
I'm just trying to,
Yeah. Okay, so now, Andy, you're going to put up the Weve Got Your Six. That was the barbecue one. Very good. Okay, so what you guys are looking at right now, so this is one of our first donation sponsorship opportunities that we're rolling out. It is called Weve Got Your Six. It is where you guys can give a monthly donation for only $6 a month. I'm not big about talking about money, so this is why we're going to get this out of the way this week, because I was going to talk about it last week. We are working on getting it set up to where you can have it taken out every month, but for right now it doesn't work that way, and we're preferring that you don't do PayPal because PayPal takes a portion of it. So you can write us a check every month or drop off the donation, whatever you'd like to do. But we're trying to get it set up so where it can come automatically out.
direct deposit and everybody.
Yep, and
A lot
we
of people
figured
like that.
$6 a month was totally manageable for people.
And I like it.
Yeah,
You got your six and
We've
stuff,
got your
yeah.
six, and what that means in the military term. What does that mean, Joel?
Got your back.
Got your back.
Right. So it
And
doesn't.
it's deductible.
It's well. Let's not talk about taxes right now. I don't know. They've changed a lot of those rules.
Really.
Yeah.
Any.
Just get with your accountant.
Yeah, donations. Well, being a nonprofit, you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
All right.
certain. We'll have the accountant on sometime. Not today though.
Right. Okay. I just thought any donations were tax deductible.
No, they've changed all those
Yeah.
rules, and you have to meet certain
Thank
criteria.
God Billy's not the accountant.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
Anyways,
I make
it's
him
doable.
spend it.
$6 a month, we've got your back. Next, throw up the shirt to go along
Bam.
with this. Super excited about this. So this is a sneak peek of what our new sweatshirts are going to be. We're going to be ordering those on Friday. We're super.
Now, is that on the back, speaking of that, or is it just on the front?
That's on the front.
What's on the back? I got your six on the back.
Nope, there's
Oh.
nothing on the back currently. There may or may
Seems
not
a
be
little,
something on the back. We'll see.
Protunded or whatever that word would be.
So, yeah. And so
Yeah.
it's got our logo on the sleeve. But the sweatshirts are going to be $30, and
Cool.
you'll be able to get them from us. So we're going to be ordering them, and you can pick them up directly from us. So we're super excited about that. Next, go on to... Oh, I didn't give you another one, did I?
Mm-hmm.
Only 2. Okay.
Yep.
So I want to talk... he does not have this one up there, but we'll put it out on Warrior Spotlight. This is a big one. So this is about our program. So I'm going to hold it up. I don't know. Oh, it looks like I'm a little delayed.
We're very delayed.
You're on Facebook
Mm-hmm.
feed.
Oh, we're very delayed.
Okay.
You're on Facebook feed. Just
So-
go with this.
I'm going
me.
with
Here,
it.
honey, come
Yeah. Okay.
I got you. Get out of here. Keep
So-
talking.
It's okay.
got
We
you.
just
I
roll
got-
with it here.
I got
It's
your.
okay.
I got your 6.
He's got my 6. Okay. So this is a sponsor the Warrior. There you go. Sponsor the Warrior. Sponsorship opportunity. So this is $3,100. One of our veterans in our program came up with this idea. We're super excited about it. And this is okay, honey. I think they got it. Thank you.
I don't see you. Where'd you go? Where are you at?
Okay. Okay, come on. Okay.
Can't take me
Anyways,
nowhere.
it runs $3,100 to put a veteran through the program, and that is for a 50-week program. There are 40 weeks in the program with the horses, and then the last 10 weeks is a give back phase to the program. But we are looking at VFWs, corporate sponsorship opportunities, legions. Really anybody who wants to come together and sponsor a warrior, that would be amazing. So all that's going to be out there too. Okay, like us, follow us, and share us on Facebook. I'm telling you all that. Now, enough of that nonsense. Let's get to our guest.
Guest.
Super excited about that. Finally.
About time.
Yeah. Ooh, a lot of news, man.
15 minutes.
Yeah, 17 minutes of the news.
I
Wow.
know.
There's
It's
a little,
okay. So you
little
can forward
squirrel,
through
couple
that.
squirrels in there though.
There was.
It's all good. Hey.
Anyways, welcome, Joel.
Thank you.
Super
Thank
excited
you
to
for
have
having
you.
me.
So let's start with what branch of service were you in?
The Marine Corps.
And you did what?
I was an amphibious assault vehicle crewman.
Really?
And
Yeah.
Sweet.
What is? Break that down to people who have no idea what you're talking about.
It's the amphibious tanks that go from ship to shore that carry the infantry. I don't know if you've seen Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Where they're taking
Mm-hmm.
the troops to the shore and
Well,
The ramp
actually,
falls.
we
Wow,
were at
that's
Camp
cool.
Pendleton,
Mm-hmm.
and because we went to watch a Marine graduation,
Mm-hmm.
and when because we were staying right on the beach, and all of a sudden we heard this large rumble coming, right, and it was the amphibious vehicles
yeah,
coming
that's what I did.
from the beach into
Yeah.
the water,
A whole
and then
bunch
they
of them,
disappeared.
Yeah.
So how long did you guys stay underwater when you did it?
Hopefully not at all.
They didn't. It wasn't a submarine, honey. It was
The goal was not to stay
was the
underwater.
cargo carriers.
The goal was to
and
stay
stuff.
afloat
Yeah,
and
not a submarine.
Oh,
That's Roy. That's Roy. Squirrel.
Okay, stop saying squirrel. That's your last squirrel. that
Okay,
you
last
ate.
squirrel.
Okay.
So, sorry, honey.
yes, our goal was to stay afloat,
Oh,
not to sink.
so they float.
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So sorry. So sorry for all my Marine brothers and sisters.
That's funny though.
Yeah, no, I
This
thought
is
it was.
why I said
thought
explain
it
it to
was
us because we don't know. So, okay. So what was your mission when you did it? So what was the detail of the mission?
To carry the troops from ship to shore and
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then
Cargo
you would,
too, as
you
well
would,
as cargo.
yeah.
So what did you actually? I'm sorry. What
No.
else did you actually do? Would you, if
You started off as like a rear crewman, where
Okay.
you sit in the back with the infantry,
Mhm.
troops, and
Right.
just make sure that they're doing
Safe.
what. Yeah, there's
Correct, I
rules
gotcha.
that they have to follow and stuff like that, and the rear crewman also assists with loading the machine guns if need to be, or changing radio stations. But from rear crewman, you move up to being the driver, and then the driver you move up to being the turret gunner.
sorry.
And then from turret gunner to like an assistant section leader, you got all these little steps that you.
so how many people are on one of those?
There is 3 to 4 crew members, but then you have 21 combat equipped troops.
And that means, I mean, I know what. Explain that. I'm not going to pretend like I know.
Along with your 3 crewmen that run the vehicle,
Okay.
you also have 21 infantry soldiers
Oh, okay.
with all of their gear and packs, rifle, everything.
Oh, okay.
So it's a very tight fit. and uncomfortable.
So all of those people fit in
Yeah.
one of those? Oh my
How
gosh.
did they transport that around on big ships?
Yeah,
Like when you would say go to war or go to your destination, that was on a big ship.
yeah, that's.
And then how was it unloaded? Like a boom over the side of the ship into the
How
water?
are the vehicles?
Yeah.
They
Drive right off?
the ship will
Open
like
up?
lower down, and
Oh,
the
like
well
lower
deck will
deck.
fill
Oh.
it with water,
Right.
and then we just drive
Drive
right
off.
back.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. That's very interesting.
So you do go underwater for a minute,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, right.
going
Yeah,
off
what?
the back of the ship, and you pray to God that you
How
come back
cold was
up.
the coldest you trained in? Water-wise. I bet it was cold sometimes.
You know what? You're thinking about so many other things.
You don't even
You don't
recognize,
even
realize
really.
it. Yeah. Your
And you're
adrenaline.
wearing waterproof,
Right.
clothing.
That's cool.
And, Yeah, that's kind of the least of your concern.
I
as
see the
to
Private
cold.
Ryan movie, like you say, where they throw up.
Yeah.
The gate opens though, and the war. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the battle's already pursued.
Well, our ramp was in the rear of the vehicle.
Okay.
Those were early type
Early-
vehicles that
I
had
got you.
ramps
That's
in
cool.
the front. So.
Awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. So did you have any family members that were in the service?
Oh yeah, I come from a very large military family. Both my grandparents, my dad was drafted. Both of my brothers, cousins, pretty
Wow.
much. Yeah,
All branches too?
yeah. I was the only Marine though.
Oh,
Really?
so why did you choose Marines then?
I don't know.
Okay.
Everybody else was in something
Okay.
else.
Yeah,
Right.
I think if I remember correctly, I think I tried to go into Army first, and they just were slow at taking my phone call.
Where did you train at?
And when I joined the Marines, Paris
Yeah.
Island.
Paris Island. That's
Yeah,
where Stephen
that's-
was
yeah,
from.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was
That's what it
cool.
is,
I'll
Paris
never forget that. I
Yeah.
love telling the stories about that. And
Yeah, it was
yes,
an
that was
experience.
cool.
That was an experience.
For
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
What
I
was
bet.
your least favorite part about that experience?
Of recruit training?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I know you guys have a pretty big deal at the end that you have to do.
Yeah,
in
the
Marines.
Crucible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was cool. I got the video of that.
Tell people what that is.
Crucible is a 3-day event where, I think, now it's been over 20 years. So
Right.
You just go with it however you remember
Yeah.
it.
It's a 3-day event, and you're given, I think, 2 MREs for the 3 days, and something like 5 hours of sleep, and you have to do these different obstacles all along while you're doing like a 70-mile hike with your pack, and it's
Intense.
exhausting.
I, not to take from your story, but to add to it, I remember because I bought the video of that, of the Crucible, right? And is it 50 or 70 days? But it's because they say at a certain amount of days, the human body transforms, or not so much transforms, but you go to a limit, and then at that point, the next few days are where you're really tested. So, you know what I mean? Like you said, lack of food, sleep, the weather, all of that plays into it. But I know that was
Yeah,
one of the
it's-
reasons the Marines do the Crucible. The
Yeah,
Crucible.
it's exhausting.
There's a reason it is the length of it. I'm sorry, but
Yes,
that
sir.
was cool, man.
Yeah, by the time you're done, you can barely walk. Your feet are
Yeah.
totally scabbed
You know you're a
up,
man.
and
What about the women who finish it?
And
Okay.
woman.
they do.
Got
they,
you,
they,
sisters.
they do the same exact thing. There's no.
The kid we went to see
Why'd
graduate.
you look at me when you said
The
sister?
kid we went to
I didn't. I was
graduate
looking at the
had an
camera.
ingrown toenail, and he could have got out of it, but he told his officer or whoever was in charge, no, he wasn't, because his feet were so messed up that they ripped his toenail off. Because I always thought he was milquetoast anyway. He dated our daughter, my oldest, and he ripped his toenail off and finished the Marines in that sand down there too.
Yeah.
I'll never.
Sand fleas.
Sorry.
That's
yeah.
okay.
Well, we seen where they washed their uniforms on them, the big concrete tables and stuff each
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
But what's cool at the end is you finally get your Eagle Globe and Anchor.
Yep.
So as soon as you're done with the Crucible, they march you to the Iwo Jima Monument. It's not the actual Iwo Jima Monument, but a smaller size there at Paris Island. And yeah, your drill instructor
Right
hands
then.
you your Eagle Globe and Anchor. And from that point on, you have the title Marine. So
Awesome.
pretty.
From the yellow boot,
Yeah,
the yellow steps, because in that whole movie, or not the yellow steps, but the yellow footprints coming off that bus to that point.
It even starts before then.
Yeah.
Uh,
On the bus ride or something.
well,
Whose story is this, huh?
I'm sorry. I just wound up. I respect them, man. I know what I did was tough, but it was
But you
nothing
gotta
like
let
that.
Joel
It was-
talk.
my recruiter picked me up from our house, and said my goodbyes and everything. We get in the car, and the first thing he says to me is, "I don't like to talk, and I don't like the radio." So it was riding from my house to Detroit with no talking, no radio,
I would have
anything.
died. I'd have punched him.
And he dropped me off at the door, and I'm like, well, how are they going to know I'm who I am? And he's like, they'll know who you are. You'll be fine. Just get on the plane.
Get out of my car.
They will be waiting for you when you get off the plane. And I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. And you have this black folder that you carry with you, and that's how they know who you are. It's got all your paperwork in it, and you look like a stupid boot anyways. And the folder says USMC on it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I get off the plane, and I see the drill instructor, and I'm thinking, oh, I gotta go tell this guy, hey, I'm here.
There's another stupid boot.
Yeah.
No.
So I went up to him, and I am here, and he commenced to chewing my ass. And they like everybody's coming from different terminals, and they march you to the, at least they did. I don't know if they still do it now because of September 11th or whatever. They made us all sit in the middle of the airport in like a group.
Right.
And you had to wait there until all the people arrived, and then they take you down to the basement. But, a lot of the guys Marines that had retired or whatever, they were, on vacation, and they see you sitting there, and, oh boy, you boys are in trouble.
Oh,
You
man.
just wait.
Right.
And then, then you finally get on the bus, and it's like an hour drive to the island, and you get to the island, and they tell you don't have the privilege to look at the island yet. You got to put your head between your legs. And
Oh, wow.
Is
Yeah.
it dark when you arrive?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's middle of the night, and you're up for a couple days.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the same thing with the Air Force as far as you're not up for a couple days, but you arrive at night. So
Yeah.
they say that what you can't figure out where you're at. You come in the dark,
Oh yeah, I had no
Yeah.
idea where I was at on that
Right.
base.
Yeah. And you're like, what the heck?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, there's no turning back now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
As soon as you got in the car with no radio, you were turning back. Yeah.
Funny thing was, he was super nice when he was at my house,
Oh,
joking
yeah.
and laughing.
Yeah,
and, yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, yeah.
sucker.
Yep, for sure.
He had to be like that in front of your parents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's funny. So I definitely want to get into you being into the program and stuff, but I know that you do some really cool stuff. You have a collection of stuff. What is it that you collect? Tell us about your collection.
Just because like growing up with, family being in the military, I've always been just really intrigued by everything. Like I have a cousin who was with the 75th Rangers. I think I was maybe 10 years old, and he came to our Christmas, and he came in, and I just remember seeing, his boots all shiny and bloused, and that beret, and I was like, wow, that is so cool. And then my grandpa was a World War II vet, and then every summer we would go down to Mansfield, Ohio, and spend Labor Day weekend with all the guys that he served with in the war. So I, grew up with them, and just always been intrigued by, the life and the uniforms. And
Tell them what you collect. What do you collect?
anything military. Yeah.
Yeah, you got
The
a lot
older-
of vintage stuff, don't you?
The older the better. And
Have you seen some of his stuff?
I have, because he posted on.
Oh, wow. Really? So,
yeah.
like, what's the
Like
oldest
Civil
thing?
War type stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
several Civil War, like buckles and bullets.
And you just got a saddle, right? Didn't you get a
Yeah, I got a saddle last year when I started here.
Yes, you did.
Really?
It's
I
a
was
World
like,
War
that-
One saddle, and
Wow.
it was trashed. Like it came straight out of a barn, and
Right.
we just worked on
A
it.
barn
and,
find or something, right? Wow.
Polished it all up, and now it's hanging on the wall.
So, do you have
That's
a room
cool.
that all this
Yeah.
stuff is in? Oh, okay.
My man cave.
Your man cave. Oh, I
And
bet
you
it's
have,
pretty
to
cool.
post that on Warrior Spotlight or something so everybody can
Yeah.
see it if you don't mind.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I'm
That's
already
awesome.
intrigued to see it.
Yeah.
There's a tortoise, that they found. I can't think of his name right now, but he's got bullet. They found a bullet in his shell from the Civil War.
Oh,
He's
wow.
100 and some odd years old. Well,
Okay.
whenever the war was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Over 150.
Yeah,
Plus years.
he's 180 maybe, 170 years old. I swear, I can't think of his name right now. Darn it. Yep.
Is he for sale?
No. Yeah, I like to collect him.
Is he-
Yeah.
Like, honey, here I got this.
Yeah, look what I got. I just want the bullet, but we gotta wait till he passes. No.
Right. Okay, so I want to get into the meat and potatoes as to why you are here on our show as our guest. So you are, which we are so proud of you and we are so excited, you are our first veteran to complete our 50-week program. Well, 45 weeks of it. You did the 40-week equine. You've given us well over the 5-hour community service, and then you've already chosen your community service partner to donate or contribute your 5 hours to them. But we're so very proud of you. We're so very excited to see, me personally, see the growth that you've had. But let's back all the way up and tell
You're a
people.
poster guy.
He
A
is.
poster man, not poster child,
Yeah.
but poster person.
So we're going to back up and then we're going to
That's
come to
awesome.
present day as to what's happening.
Okay.
So let's start with, I'm going to let you tell the story, how I was trying to engage with you, and then how you got connected with me.
I was trying to remember. I don't really remember exactly how me and you.
I think it was Kyle.
I think I was talking to you before.
Well, you know
Kyle,
what? I
though.
think so too. I think we met on social media, maybe.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think maybe. And then that was just weird when I started working with Kyle, and then we start talking, and then
Yep, I
found
think
out
you're right.
that.
Yep.
And then all these other people came in. It's like, wow, this is like meant to be or something. This is kind of
Right.
crazy.
Right.
But, you talked to me for about a year before I actually ended up coming out.
Even to get you to visit
Yeah.
the Duke Farm,
Mm-hmm.
the premise at all, it took him a year to get there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was a lot of work. Checking in. How you doing? How you doing?
After the Marine recruiter lied to him.
I don't know about this place.
Yeah.
They're smiling now, but
Right.
as soon as that barn door closes, it's going to be a different story.
They got a radio on here, but they don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay, but we got you there finally one afternoon.
Mhm, yeah.
And
And it was incredible. I didn't want to stop coming.
yes, we had Sophie out.
Yeah.
And we were working with Kyle that day too,
Mhm.
right?
But no, I got on the horse that day too. And
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on horses prior?
Yes, but only, the trained horses at vacation, the hot spots that
Oh.
they
I
just
gotcha.
follow the leader. You don't
Right,
really
right.
do
Right.
Run
anything.
back to the barn at the end,
Yeah.
right, or whatever, right.
So,
I
but
gotcha.
yeah, that was the only experience I ever had.
Right.
And the first, just so people can understand, the first horse that we put you on was our Clydesdale.
Yeah.
The biggest horse we have.
Yeah, that was
Right?
a little intimidating.
Sure.
Yeah, and no
With no saddle.
with no saddle.
No.
That is
Yeah.
correct. Just in a bareback pad. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I think that's all it took from that point, right?
Pretty much, yeah, I was hooked at that point. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
yep, I'm definitely coming back here.
Okay, but then what happened when you started coming back?
Well, it wasn't always sunshine and rainbows, that's for sure.
No.
So, I mean, there were days that I didn't want to come, and days that I was like, oh gosh, do I really have to go there? And
Mhm.
I forced myself to come, and it always ended up being good. Like,
Mhm.
I would leave there and go, man, I am so glad that I actually
You went.
there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And all those days that I didn't want to come, I thought to myself, I'm like, all these volunteers at the farm are doing all this work, to make this happen for me. I need to go and not let them down. This isn't just about me. It's, about you. It's about the
Accountability,
volunteers.
too.
Yeah. It's
Mhm.
Roy and Debbie. It's everybody that is putting all their hard work and time and effort into
Right.
it. It's-
Right.
It's how it is amazing because in church they talked about accountability, workout partners, and they a person it was about heart disease, and these people didn't follow through on it. They did a study, and then they had a partner that did it. More of them completed it, not to get going too far, but
Right.
it is true because once you start, it's like working out.
But
you
the
know?
thing that you'll find with veterans is once they commit, they'll commit.
Sure, I can believe
So,
that.
and
Sure.
they do feel that loyalty to that veteran connection at the other end of it, right? That loyalty.
Yeah, you thought I was going to quit a couple times.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Sorry.
That's
No, I
okay.
heard our sound quality is extremely well tonight.
Just checking.
I got a report on our sound quality.
Sounds
It's
good.
good.
Anyway, so let's go back. So phase one. Phase
Phase
one was where you ride in a bareback pad.
Mhm.
And phase one was pretty good for you, right?
Yeah, that was a lot of fun and learned a lot. And it's just a nice time to learn what being in the moment is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that's
everybody
what-
is so sick of hearing that from me.
I
You know,
Right.
But it
be in
could
the
not-
moment. Be in the moment. Would
but
you
it
quit
could-
saying that?
It could not make me happier. It could not make me happier because that's where it starts, right?
Yeah,
And
for
in
sure.
that phase 1, then you carry it through for the remainder 40 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So phase 2 is where it starts to get real.
Yeah, phase 2 sucks.
Let's be honest here.
Well, and we tell you that. We tell
Yeah.
you that phase 2 is really where we start to dig at the dirt and where you dig at the dirt, not us, right? You have to come up with those answers, not us.
And let me clarify, when I say it sucks,
Right.
it's really good for you.
Right.
It just sucks that,
Yeah, you're dealing with the feelings and emotions that you've been
hiding away,
correct.
Right.
Yeah.
shoving in a closet, and
To get
trying
to it,
to
sometimes you
forget
got to
about
go through it, or whatever
Yeah,
they say,
for sure.
right? Mhm.
And it's you and the horse that are working through that,
it. Mhm.
right? So we didn't do a lot of communicating. The horses did a lot of it with you, and then tell them what would happen when in that in between week,
When I would realize, just
the processing.
yeah, like, oh my God, I can't think of an example right now, but yeah, I would get home and be like, oh, that's what she meant by this, or that's, why I did that. Oh, it all makes perfect sense now. And, going through that second phase and doing all that, we found out yesterday, how well did that work?
Yeah.
Yeah, because while I was going through phase 2, I was just like, what are we doing? This doesn't really make any sense. And as you get further and further into it, you really
Yeah.
do, it comes together and you finally get it. And then yesterday,
Yeah. We'll tell that in
Okay,
detail. We don't want to jump ahead. That's the good part of the story. But you would get home sometimes and you'd be like, you'd text me and you'd be
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh my
sometimes-
gosh, I got it.
yeah, sometimes it wouldn't even take for me to get home.
Yeah.
Be on the drive home.
And we take pictures while you go through this, right? And we take pictures and send them to you so you have those moments during that week as you're processing to look back at those moments you spent with the horse. Was that something that was good?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
for
okay.
sure, for sure.
So
I always enjoyed getting the pictures and the videos, and I'm sure all my friends were probably like, God, I wish this guy would quit posting pictures of horses. We get it, buddy. You're at a farm. So, but, oh well.
nice.
Yeah.
So, but that's
Delete me.
Yeah,
Right,
delete me if
exactly.
you don't like it. Yeah.
So.
And then you did not go through our because you were at the very beginning as we were building this, and so before it was an option to go through phase 3. Now moving forward, everybody, it is not an option. Everybody has to go through phase 3, and that's our trauma-based piece of it. But you went through phase 4, and what's phase 4 about?
Pressure, and it's combining everything that you've learned from day 1. The first, what's the word I'm looking for? The first part of the program, the second, it's
The phases.
it's
Mm-hmm.
combining it all together.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know if you had something to say.
No.
So no, the pressure it's you experiencing the pressure and watching the pressure at the same time that you're feeding to the horse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so that's pretty powerful as you're experiencing it and then watching it all at the same time,
Mhm.
right? Because your pressure gets elevated and then you have to slow your pressure down, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I said it's fun now watching, some of the guys, go through the program and they're in that,
Right.
process, and I just remember being there too. I'm like, come on, horse, you're
Right.
going to do what I tell you to do, and it does not work that
And that's
way.
the pressure,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for
Right.
sure.
So that's the pressure. And so, like we said, in the phase 5, you've already given us our 5 hours back, but super, super proud of you. Very excited that you're the first one through. And completing that, you wanted to become part of our board.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
For
So
sure.
you wanted to be able to give back now to other veterans who are going through that, which I think is amazing. You have been our spokesperson through this entire process. You've talked to anybody and everybody sharing your story, which it's funny because Mary Beth, our mental health, right? She typically lives in a world where people don't talk about, hey, we're in therapy, right? And it was funny when we were at the the fundraiser, right? Brian brought all his friends, and he walks by Mary Beth and he tells his friend, he's like, "That's my therapist."
Yeah.
But we take pictures of you guys, right? And you guys share this experience because you want other veterans to know it, that it's working, right?
It's okay.
Yeah, I think that's
It's okay.
kind of being a veteran too.
Right.
Like,
Right.
well, we're gonna throw all of our secrets out there.
Right. Yeah, right.
Kind of like when JP was up there.
Dumping your baggage or
Yeah.
whatever you want to say.
Yeah, and he was telling jokes, but they were all civilians, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not laughing at that.
Right.
That is not funny." And the vets are like,
Yeah. Right.
Right. So then yesterday when we are shooting a video that we're putting together for a project, and you went through the building phase. We were working on that. And so I gave you a couple options of what you wanted to build.
which is phase 2.
Which is phase 2.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much. And so it could not have been any more perfect. So explain to people what you built, even though they can't see it, but just kind of give them a visual of how that went for you.
It just came very easily, honestly. There was objects out there that we could use, or that I could use to use however I wanted to, and what I decided to do was take the jump beam 1st. I used the jump beam as kind of like I'm finishing the program, and now I'm going to step over that and go into the next phase. And I used 2 hula hoops. One hula hoop was representing my wife, and things were struggling with her, and then the other hula hoop was for my boys and the stuff that we're struggling with them. And then we set up the orange cones as like a goal, like to get through that. But it looked a lot cooler and sounded cooler yesterday.
No, it is very cool. So because but it didn't take you any time to use those objects
that's
and
what-
metaphorically put them in place
Yeah,
for
that
where
blew
you're
my
at
mind.
now.
Yeah,
Right.
where when I was going through the program, the second phase, I'm just like, what the hell is Jamie talking about?
Right.
She wants me to use a hula hoop to represent,
Right.
you know, and
Jumping
I
through
just
the hoops or
couldn't.
what, right.
Yeah, I couldn't see it. And then yesterday it was just like, oh, doop, 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 doop.
It
But
is
when
some-
you get it metaphorically, it's
Yeah.
pretty crazy because
Yeah.
those hula hoops really metaphorically turn into your wife and your children, right? When you look at them, you don't see hula hoops. You see
Yeah.
those two.
And then you got to take the horse with you through the journey that you just created, and how you use the horse with those objects and stuff. It creates another whole aspect of it, like how, okay, we walked over, you know, the finish line into the next part of the process, and okay, we're going to walk the horse around the hula hoop that represents my wife, and then we're going to move over to the one that represents my kids and make that figure 8, and then go around them both again to pull them together, and then all go through the
Goal.
And that's how you're processing
yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
So
That just blew my mind.
Yeah.
yeah, and it honest to God blew mine too. So you did it in minutes, and you didn't even hesitate. Like you knew exactly what you wanted to build, and I was totally blown away.
Yeah,
and
it didn't happen like that when we were going through.
No,
Right.
because you're trying to, because you're in all the garbage, right?
Yeah.
You've got all that garbage that you're dealing with, and then trying to figure it out. So there's this stuff, and now that you're through this program, it does not make everything better in life
No,
at
absolutely.
all, right?
No,
but
it
it gives
just-
you tools,
Absolutely.
right, and resources, and you'll always have a home with us, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's the beauty part, is that veterans don't have to go away when they're done with this. They get to be part of us.
And that's interesting that you brought that up, because I often wondered that if that's what stops maybe veterans from wanting to join the program, is that when they're done with the program, it's done. I know that was one of the hardest things for me to get over with once I got out of the Marines, was that adjustment going from, okay, you're a sergeant in the Marine Corps, I had 4 amphibious assault vehicles, you have all this, responsibility and respect and power, and then it's all over with. The moment they hand you that D-214 and you go home, it's like, what do I do now? I went to Farmer Jack's and old grocery store and start stocking milk. Talk about an adjustment,
Right.
going from that to stocking milk. completely depressed me, and you know,
Why?
because you just didn't feel like you were important anymore. You had no real meaning, or you felt kind of abandoned. You know, one minute you're Superman in the Marine Corps, and then next minute you're nobody. You faded away. You are already been replaced, and I hope that veterans don't think that when they come to this program. It's obviously not like that, but that.
That is very, very true. So we're going to connect that to our last week's veteran in a second. But Brian had said that he's going to eventually be a guest on our show too. And he was in an inpatient facility, right? And it was like 6 weeks or something. And then around the tail end when he was getting out, which I've heard this story multiple times, not just from him, but from other veterans, right? You're at the tail end of getting out, and now the anxiety, which was calm in about 3 weeks, right? 4 weeks. Now week 5, it's starting to get elevated again because you're leaving. You're leaving the comfort zone, the people who you're growing close to, the people who understand what you're speaking about, right? And then you're just going to be sent back out. So that, I think, is what really separates our program and doesn't make it better or worse than any other program. It's just something special that we offer with our program, that you will always have a home. We want you to be part of us. And
Well, I don't want to use this, so I won't. But because I don't like them couple words that they use. But being family, being connected, like you're saying, because I was looking at it like, and I'm just gonna say it. People that get incarcerated, it's easy. Everybody finds God in jail. Okay, they're behind the walls. They're safe in there. They can't have now. They do their time. They've been rehabilitated in some 1% or however you want. So when they get out, now guess what? They lose God first of all. A lot of them do because He's not important anymore. I got through that. 2 is that they're not safe because them walls don't protect them. Whether it's whatever crime it was, whether it's domestic violence, drinking in my case was what it was, or whatever, that there's not that protection there. And I think, and you telling that your story here and what we're talking about, is the farm is always there for if you need whatever it is. Just like you say, just being around them animals, going there, contributing, talking to Jamie or saying, hey, it's always there for the veteran, and I think that's very important.
Absolutely.
And that's
you're
why
not abandoned.
No, that's why we have those continual community, the word community piece of it, right? With the monthly dinners, the Friendsgiving, so we can continue to build our community of people who are understanding what they're talking about, right? But going back to the point of when you were, stocking the shelves, right? And how important you felt at that moment, right? Like how important.
Let me tell you though, to some people I was extremely important because if that milk went on sale, them old people.
Right. Well, it is important.
Oh yeah, they
Because
wanted
we
their
gotta have
milk,
milk,
and
yeah.
if you weren't putting it out there on time, they were like little drill instructors.
So last week we had a gentleman on, and he was a Vietnam veteran. He had put himself in a facility 14 different times. His story, you'll have to watch the podcast. His story was absolutely incredible. But one of the things that I sat there as he was telling the story, right, is taking it to right where we are as current modern day veterans, right? So he was saying those exact same words when he was a 68 and 69 veteran, right? So the isolation, we talk about isolation, right? The lack of trust, what, the how you feel when you get out, and the no respect, and the what am I going to do? Those words have never changed in that entire time. Like, I went home that night and was totally processing that all night long. Like, it is crazy that has been a standard in the military, right? That's what they teach us when we go to basic training, when they teach us to go to war, I don't care what branch it is, right? That those are the things, and then as you progress through your military career, right, those are the things that you gain. And when you get out, whether it was a Vietnam veteran or whether it's an Afghanistan veteran today, right, that it is crazy because those things never change, right? That's how we can connect so easily together, right? Just by saying a few simple words that, copy that or roger that, or just something that gives you that warm fuzzy to connect, you know?
Right.
And
You speak
Yeah.
the same language as you say often, and it's true.
it is very, very true.
important,
You
too.
have to speak the language,
Yep.
right? And so,
But back to the obstacles and stuff in the barn, and you say pick it up. You know, because when we did the spouse night or whatever, or not spouse, but the family night or whatever, and you asked everybody out there to pick and what you're going. But it is funny how whether it's the hula hoops or like the rope, and the one person said about the rope how it was all a mess, meaning it signified where she felt in her life was all a mess, you know, and you know what I mean, and it is funny because at first I was overthinking it. It's like, well, what am I really supposed to? How does this represent whatever I'm thinking I'm going through or not going through?
and that's
but
how
it is.
Go ahead.
I think it's important too that you're not giving us any of the answers.
No.
You know, the person going through it, they're coming
Yeah.
up with everything
Yeah.
themselves. You're just there observing, and
But that's why it's so good, because we watched you transition. So that phase one is so critical. That phase one is that quiet space, right? Where you learn to slow your brains down. You're quiet on that horse. We're not talking, right? In the beginning, I was leading you around, and then you learn to ride the horse, still in a bareback pad, anywhere in the field, right? You were riding her, but you were in this quiet space, this slow rhythmic movement, right, for 10 weeks, slowing your brain down. And that transition, I will never forget it. It was
Neither will I.
Mary Beth and I looked at it like going from the end of phase one and then the week one into phase two. That transition was seamless because you were in a more comfortable space. You already had the ability to slow your brain down, be in the moment.
most of the time.
Yes, most of the time.
I still have my ups and downs.
Yeah, but that's the important of that phase one of 10 weeks, because if we just started you in phase two, it would take way longer to get you there, right? So that's why we do phase one. So we can build the rapport with you, the space that you're in, the quieting of your brain, learning to be in that moment that you carry for 40 weeks, right? It makes those transitions into each phase amazing, you know? So, yeah, it was absolutely incredible watching you. And it's funny when you are the equine specialist in the mental health, when you sit back and, man, we have this thing, it's called an apostrophe S. So when you're out there, whether it was you were building your barriers or whatever, right? So as an equine specialist, I leave it at that. Whatever you're building is what you're building. I'm not assuming that anything that you're working through, right? I can't do that. That's called an apostrophe S. That's inserting my own thought process into what you're really doing, which I can't do that because I have no idea what you're thinking. Right. But it is so crazy when after you would build something, right? And then you would explain it to us, right? And you would just have this look on your face like you just really weren't sure. And like Mary Beth and I were like, he's so close. He's so close, right? And then there was times where you would drive home and you would text me later and it would just make me smile, right? As many times, and you left frustrated too. Let's be very clear about that, right?
For sure.
You left mad, you've left upset. So it is no joke, phase two, right? You're digging at the dirt. And
Well, that's how we grow too.
and it is very hard as an equine specialist, right? And the program director, there was so many times I just wanted to pick up the phone, right? But if you don't come up with your own answers in this program,
Right.
what's the point, right?
Exactly.
So by me telling you something wasn't going to fix it. You had to work through those emotions. And there was some times that I was like, there is no way he's coming back. No way is he coming back. And you would be, I'm here. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's coming back. Yeah, it was amazing. So it was so fun to watch you and experience this journey with you. And just to watch where you are at now, you know, it's an amazing space. So, yeah. So what was it? I know you mentioned it just a little bit, but you were kind of watching another veteran go through. Just say that one more time. Now looking back at watching somebody go through.
Yeah, it was
stuff.
just fun watching him, try to get, to apply pressure to the horse, and he's not in that step yet, so
Right.
he doesn't really know what he's doing, and just the frustration, and he's trying to keep calm, and there's a lot going on, and he even said that. He's like, oh my God, there's so much going on. I need to do this, I need to do that, and
But it's that pressure buildup, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
And it's fun getting to a point where, oh, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
I did that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that the program ended for me couldn't have been any better with the journey.
Oh.
You know, we were trying, to get him to just come to me,
Join
we'd
up.
work with him and then take breaks and see if he would come up to me, and he never did until the last day, and I didn't think he would, and then I turned my back, and yeah, he came up to me.
That was pretty
Yep,
powerful,
and
wasn't it?
Put his head up here, and I was like, oh, this couldn't have ended any better. This is what
Yeah.
this was all about.
You were there. Right?
It was it's very powerful, isn't it?
Right,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And then I asked you one question. I said, out of everything that you've been through, what's the one thing? What's your one takeaway?
Being in the moment.
I
Come on, Jamie.
know it was being, but that I was so.
Maybe I should get that like tattoo.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
Be in the moment.
Right, right.
That was the one thing that I could not have made me happier, right? Because that's where you start, and you carried it through for 40 weeks.
And I use it every day, whether it's with my kids or my wife. Come on, let's just focus right now. Let's not worry about what we're having for dinner tomorrow. It's not,
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I couldn't have done it without you and
Yeah,
everybody.
No, absolutely.
So everybody.
But it's like you were saying, looking back at the other veteran, and somewhat what Jamie and the director see, because you see what she has seen in you, the growth, or where you were and where you're going to be, and like I don't want to use you're the little like grasshopper, or
Oh, I'm
you're my little
Yeah.
you know what I mean, your little sculpture or whatever, because it's why you do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's exactly why we do it. Is that not only to help and save life, just all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
It's
cool.
It's exciting to see.
Rewarding.
Brian. I told Brian yesterday. I'm like, dude, I'm proud of you, man.
Right.
Heck yeah. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, you would.
It's a parent, but
It's-
still, yeah, you'll get it.
You'll get it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And then when you do, it's gonna be
Be where
awesome.
you're at. Yeah, he's gonna be looking back at the next veteran saying the same thing
Yeah,
you were.
that just
yeah.
makes my heart so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
Joel,
Awesome.
thank you so much for being on tonight.
Thanks for having me.
I hope it was nice and easy, like I said it was going to be.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Again, we're super proud of you, and
Mm-hmm.
we really appreciate all of you who are sharing our podcast, watching our
Yeah,
podcast.
like,
I'm
share,
gonna
and
interrupt
comment.
one.
Yes, please.
I just want to say thank you to everybody again.
Okay.
Roy, Debbie.
Look right in the camera and
Roy,
say it.
Debbie. Gosh, I'm gonna forget people.
Like they all-
Adrian, Zoe, Laura, Anna, Carol, Bob, Tracy.
The horses.
The dogs, the
watch.
Yeah,
horses.
yeah, everybody there has been wonderful. Without them, this wouldn't have happened.
Sound
That's
like a
amazing.
NASCAR driver. I thank all my sponsors. Really? Yeah.
Well, thanks you guys so much, and we will
Squirrel.
see you. We'll see you next Wednesday. Have a
Thank
blessed
you.
night.
Good night.